Okay, and between router 3 and router 5 I will configure eBGP. Between router 4 and router 6 also I will configure eBGP neighborship. Between router 5 and router 6 IBGP neighborship. And in this domain AS number 100 I will configure IBGP neighborship. But I am not going to run lots of commands. See here what I will do. On router number 1 I am going to create one peer group. I am going to create one peer group. How I will create peer group? Router, BGP, and then AS number 100. After that, neighbor. And if you will put question mark here, you can see you have option to define the name. This is nothing but your group name. So let's say group name is CCNP, and in this group I am going to define some command, peer group. That's it. After that I will say neighbor CCNP, and update source loopback 1, let's say. So I have add this command in this peer group. Yes or no? Getting my point, guys? Okay, after that neighbor CCNP remote AS 100. Then any more command you want to add here? Okay, let me add the password. Neighbor CCNP and password is, let's say, Cisco 123. That's it. I have created the peer group, and now see what I will do. I will say neighbor 2.2.2.2 and I will call that peer group. With this neighbor I will call to the peer group. How? Peer group and the name of your peer group. What was the name? CCNP. So with neighbor 2.2.2 automatically router will run these all command. Okay. So is it easy or not? I'm going to say 3.3.3 also, and 4.4.4 also. Means I have run 12 command here. Logically I have run how many command? 12 command. 3 command with one neighbor. Total 9 command I have run. Okay. So in the same way on other router, on router number 2 also, let me create one peer group, and through peer group I can configure BGP neighborship config T, and see you have configured the password, so password should be same. Password should be same. Now router BGP 100, neighbor name of your peer group is CCNP and say peer group. Okay, and now I am going to say neighbor CCNP password. First of all let me configure the password Cisco 123. Then neighbor CCNP update source loopback 1, neighbor CCNP and remote AS is 100. Now I am going to call this peer group while configuring neighbor 1.1.1.1 and peer group CCNP. That's it. Soon neighborship will come up between router 1 and router 2. Yes or no? Wait for some time. Let me check. Is there any? What was the password there? Password should be same.
Cisco
Cisco
123.
123. And on router number 1, what was the password? Cisco 123. Cisco 123. Then why there is no neighborship? Debug. Okay. So IP BGP summary 2.2.2 active 3.3.3. Okay. On router number 2 So IP BGP summary, neighbor is active. What the problem? Ping 1.1.1, source 2.2.2.2. Ping is working fine between 1.1.1 and 2.2.2. So run section router BGP, neighbor 1.1.1 and peer group CCNP. Okay, neighbor CCNP peer group remote AS 100 and update source loopback 1. Okay, so IP interface brief exclude unassign, because 2.2.2 should be on loopback 1, but you can see this interface is on which loopback? Loopback 10. On router number 1 also, let me check. So IP interface brief exclude unassign. So this loopback is number 10 on loopback interface 10. What I can do, either I can change the IP address here on loopback 1, I can define 1.1.1, or I can change the command. So let me change the command. So run section router BGP. So go to config T, router BGP 100 and neighbor CCNP, neighbor CCNP, and then update source loopback 10. And loopback 1, I am going to remove this command, loopback 1. Okay, let me do same thing on router number 2 also. Config T, router BGP 100, and do so run section router BGP. I'm going to remove this command. Update source loopback, this one. Say no to this, and neighbor CCNP update source loopback 1. Now BGP, sorry, again I have defined loopback 1, loopback 10. What you guys are doing? On router number 1, what I have defined? 1 or 2? 10. 10. So now you can see BGP neighborship is up between 1.1.1 and 2.2.2. Okay. So in the same way on router number 3 also I am going to create one peer group, and hope now you are able to understand or able to see how we are creating peer group. Say neighbor and the name of your peer group CCNP and say peer group. That's it. The neighbor CCNP update source, here I think loopback 1, update source loopback 1. Do so IP interface brief exclude unassigned. Loopback is running on which? Loopback 10. Okay. So loopback 1 is not exist on router number 1. Okay. After that, neighbor CCNP password Cisco 123 and neighbor CCNP remote AS is 100. I'm going to call this neighbor 1.1.1.1 and peer group CCNP, neighbor 2.2.2, 3.3.4.4.4. Okay, so BGP neighborship is up between router 1 and router 3. On router number 2, I think I have not added this command. One dot one dot one. I need to say 3.3.3 also here, and 4.4.4 also. So when we need to configure lots of neighborship in BGP, then we are using this technique. On router number 4, enable config T, or anyone can ask you what is BGP peer group. So router BGP 100 neighbor CCNP peer group and neighbor CCNP update source loopback 10 and neighbor CCNP remote AS 100. After that, neighbor CCNP and password Cisco 123. Okay, and neighbor 1.1.1.1 peer group CCNP 2.2.2 and 3.3.3. Okay, and so IP BGP summary. You can see 1.1.1 is neighbor, 2.2.2 is neighbor, and 3.3.3. This neighbor is idle, soon it will also come up. Okay, now you can see on any router you can verify it. On router number 1, let's say, so IP BGP summary. So 2.2.2 is neighbor, 3.3.3 is neighbor, and 4.4.4 is neighbor. And we have password also. I have run 3 command for all neighbor. Yes or no? Is it clear, guys? On router number 1, if you will check BGP table now, so IP BGP, so you can see I don't have any prefixes. Why? Because now I need to advertise these prefixes in BGP. So let me advertise it. Router BGP 100 network 10.1.1.0 mask 255.255.255.0 network 10.1.2.0 network 10.1.3.0 and network 10.1.4.0 5.0 also. Okay, and so IP BGP, now you can see it have installed all prefixes in their BGP table. Now it will share to their neighbor. So on router number 2 also you can see, so IP BGP, so it have installed these all prefixes. And in routing table also, so IP route BGP, you can see it have installed in routing table also. I am going to advertise the prefixes which is connected to router 2 in BGP. Router BGP 100 network 20.1.1.0 mask 255.255.255.0 network 20.1.2.0 20.1.3.0 20.1.4.0 20.1.5.0. Okay, now you can check BGP table. So IP BGP, so it have installed these all prefixes. Okay, and on any other router like on router number 3 or on router number 4, on any router you can verify BGP table. First you will verify BGP table and then you will verify routing table. You can see it have installed all 10 prefixes also and 20 prefixes also. And so IP route BGP, so definitely it will install in BGP routing table also, because these prefixes are best as well as valid. So you can see. And can I ping 10.1.1.1? So you can see ping is also working. Okay, On router number 4 also you can verify if you want to verify. So IP BGP, okay, and so IP route BGP, okay. Now I am going to form EBGP neighborship. So is it clear guys to everyone?